The correct or known explanation for chaos is the state of disorder and confusion. This disorder is not always physical. Sometimes it is from within oneself. And in response to this state, some people turn to anger, depression, or even suicide, just to name but a few. A fairy story is told of a beast and a beautiful girl. Now, as many versions as there may be of the storyline is one. A people that is afraid of a seemingly harmful creature and a beautiful girl who has been taken hostage by this creature. You see, in Beauty and the Beast, the prince, for whatever reason, has been cast to become a monster for the rest of his life. And when he captures this beautiful lady, instead of turning this against this beast or scheming ways in which she can destroy the beast, she tries to understand this beast and becomes the friend to the beast. Eventually, the curse is lifted and everyone ends up realizing that, oh, it was just a prince and a curse that was cast on him that had caused him to become a monster. Generally, chaos is seen as a very negative thing. I do not disagree. However, because of the simple reason that even a simple coin has two sides, even chaos can be rather positive with regard to the perspective. All right? So it is out of chaos sometimes that we attain solutions, permanent solutions for life, and even get, to open doors that we never thought could be open. Take, for instance, the pandemic that hit the world, the COVID-19 situation. It has not been a good thing and it has caused a lot of negative changes. But on the other hand, due to COVID-19, businesses that never existed before have come to be. And ideas, creativity has been aroused among different people due to the same situation. So as much as COVID-19 had negative effects, it has had some high points or some positive points or side of it. Now, I want to narrow it down and talk about how to become or remain focused in the midst of chaos. I'll ask a question. What do you do when you're in the middle, you're somewhere, maybe on a street, and everyone starts running towards one side? What do you do? I remember a lesson that my mom taught me when I was a very young child, yeah? And we were somewhere in a town, and people started running. So as scared as I was as a little girl, I started running. However, she had held my hand, so I couldn't move much. And asked me one thing: why are you running? I didn't have an accurate answer. I just said everybody's running, so I was also running. And this is what my mom told me. Anytime something like that happens, you have to stop and look around. You have to think. You have to first understand, why is this situation happening before you start running, because you could be running into danger. At that particular point, the people who were running were a certain group of people who we know as hawkers, and they were running away from the city council, okay? So in any case, if I would have been caught up running with them, yet I was not one of them, it would have been maybe a different story. So in everything that happens, the first lesson is to always first stop. Think, what is happening? What should I do? Everybody is running towards this direction. Should I run towards that direction? Should I stop? Should I go back? All right? And those are some of, that is one of the things that is something that most people don't stop to consider or think about. Okay? Now, the environment is very key in how we respond to chaos in our lives. If we keep on surrounding ourselves with environments that are seemingly poisoning us in one way or the other, we will find ourselves sinking. We need to put ourselves in environments that always help us and encourage us to keep on thinking positively in everything that we are going to do. So make sure to always stay, for example, grateful, always have the willingness to go on despite the chaos around. Yes, the environment may dictate this. The environment may say, you know what, it's not safe for you to do that, it's not safe for you to go that way. But as long as you remain positive in whichever environment that you are, then everything will end up working for you. Now, one other big mistake that we all make in the chaotic seasons and times in our lives is maintaining a routine. Yes, I know that may seem a bit odd because everybody advocates for a routine, like the way you wake up in the morning. When we were kids, we were taught, actually there was a song, I wake up in the morning, I brush my hair, I comb my hair, I brush my teeth. Okay, some of us brush our hairs. But it was teaching us on how to go about our daily basis. There is a routine. Routine is not such a bad thing. However, when routine becomes it can become an obsessive compulsive disorder if we stick to that routine without noticing any changes around us. Okay, now doing the same thing over and over again may cause you to lose creativity. Number one, it may cause fear inside of you, and it may also defocus you from the things that you're supposed to be doing. Now, it is very important to break the norm, because chaos only proves that something has changed. Something is not what it used to be. Therefore, it would be an injustice to remain in the same routine, yet things have not been the way that they have been before. For example, it would be insane to when you get fired from a job, right? You have been spending, say, 1,000 shillings per day. You get fired, so you have no job. That means everything that you have been doing has probably been cut short or has been limited. It would be insane for you to continue spending the same 1,000 shillings a day, yet at the end of that month, you're not going to get your salary. You're not going to receive what you have been receiving. So it's up to you to, call yourself to a meeting and come down to, okay, this has happened. This is what I have been doing. What do I need to change? This has been my routine, but now this has happened. That situation is your chaos situation. What do you need to do? You need to break away from routine so that you can manage whatever or salary that you had, all right? So, aside from that, we also avoid focusing on one thing for too long. If something is not working out, do not focus all your energy, time, and resources on it. You might end up missing other opportunities when your eyes are stuck in one place. You should learn to focus on different ideas. Now, if, for example, you are a child, you are probably focused on, some of us are like, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a pilot, I want to be a doctor. Fine. It was a good dream. But what if by the time you're growing up, your dreams have changed? What if you feel differently about becoming an astronaut? What if you develop other, interests, or discover you have other hobbies and talents? What do? You can't continue saying that I want to be an astronaut, sorry. You can't continue saying that I want to be a doctor, because there has been a shift in your mind, has been a shift in interest. So if you continue to focus on the same thing over, you just focus on that thing and nothing else, you will lose out on all the other opportunities that you have. If you're talented, for example, say you can sing very well. If you keep on focusing on becoming a doctor, then you will lose your opportunity to be able to sing maybe to the nations, or to be able to, do whatever you can with your music talent. So in the midst of chaos, it is very, very important to remember that focusing on one thing for too long when it's not working out is not going to be good for you. You need to control, also another thing, you need to control your expectations. I always say expecting is good, but over-expecting can become problematic. And most relationships and businesses are bringing people down because of over-expecting, all right? There has been an uproar generally in the nation and even worldwide in the homicide cases, the crimes, homicide crimes. And this is because people have been over expecting, all right? Take, for example, someone has been in a relationship for a while, and they think maybe there's this man who thinks this lady is the one. She has never cheated on me. She has always been faithful to me, blah, 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 and that kind of a thing, all right? So what if this lady ends up cheating on this man? If this man had over expectations with regard to the relationship between him and the lady, he will end up doing something obnoxious, like maybe kill the lady or commit suicide or do something that is very, at the end of the day, when people look at it, they're like, what happened? It is because this person over expected. I repeat again, it is good to expect, but always remember not to over expect, because anything can happen. Be ready for anything, any outcome at any time. All right? Also, one more thing that I would like to point out is that you always be your own cheerleader. The world out here has become something else, and people are bringing each other down. In the midst of chaos, if you're not cheering yourself on, then there's nobody who's going to be doing that for you. You need to push yourself. You need to tell yourself that you can do this. You need to, regardless of whoever is telling you whatever, you need to push yourself. You need to know that I can do this. I can push forward. Even if this happened to me, there's a solution to this. Do not expect everyone to understand everything that you do. You should love yourself enough to push yourself despite the challenges and the changes that are brought about by chaos. And at the end of it all, you should have a way to evaluate yourself. It could be daily, it could be weekly or monthly. Have a way to evaluate yourself. Is there anything that I need to change? Did I do it perfectly? Is there anything that I need to embrace or adjust? And in that way, you will be able to adjust and live well in the midst of all the chaos of life. Also, remember, it is important to identify and acknowledge your focus triggers. Focus triggers are the things that cause you to focus more. For example, it could be a long walk. It could be maybe a very long shower, like me, or it could be music and so many other things. Identify what your focus trigger is and then build on it. If I take a long walk, I normally get ideas and this, then use that way to get the ideas for you to focus in the midst of the chaos that is around your life and in the world. Also, you need to be able to release yourself to have a focus. Now, what is scatter focus? It is the ability to separate and disperse your mind or concentration in different directions. I repeat, it is the ability to separate or disperse your mind or concentration in different directions. Now, this explains why children grow and learn very fast. When you have a child around you, you'll figure that child wants to touch the chair. The child wants to figure out, what is this? What is this, a glass? What does it do? They'll want to figure out whether whatever is on the table is something that they can put in their mouth. Now, as long as they keep doing this, because their concentration doesn't last long at one point, as long as they continue to have the scatter focus, they grow up very fast. They learn that if I dip my finger in this hot water, that they don't know it's hot water, but if I dip my finger in this, I'll feel pain. If I eat this, I'll feel some nice thing in my mouth, So allow yourself to have scatter focus at times, and it will help you to develop ideas. So make a point to help someone who appears to be in more chaos than you are in. It is therapeutic, and also it instills a confidence in your abilities, So help someone who is in need, not really, but someone who is in more chaos than you are in. Then in that way, you will be able yourself to grow and learn broader things. And finally, forget yesterday, but don't forget the lessons of yesterday. Forgive yourself for what you did or did not do, and forge on ahead. And at the end of it all, remember that there is always a higher power. Chaos in our lives may never come to an end, if we were to speak the truth. Chaos may never end completely, but it is always comforting to know that we can always get help from God, regardless of religion, all these religions that we have, but God remains the supreme power. He remains our help in the chaos of life. My name is Faith Ndua.